Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Nintendo Direct without any games footage.
So according to people who like JRPGs, there is a Nintendo Direct.
So what you're saying, Joe, is that this is Nintendo's equivalent of movies, TV.
Okay. To be fair, this is not the first Nintendo Direct like this. The first one was technically the one where we had to look at the theme park.
Alright, let me pull the volume so I can listen to this travesty.
Hello, New York Comic Con.
Terrence is at New York Comic Con right now.
It's been nearly 40
Come on,
years
Memo,
since
just
the
show
original
it to us.
Brothers
New York
game
Comic
was
Con is
introduced
what you
in
get
Japan.
too.
Today,
So,
I
yeah.
was wondering if Nintendo had a proper trailer, but or they would have premiered at the Game Awards.
Alright, so it's time to see if Illumination are actually bringing their rare good game, or if we're going to see Illumination's typical bout of mediocrity and below.
For a long time.
Let's see.
From brainstorming and all the way through
Plot
production.
twist, the trailer's like 2
The
seconds.
time flew
But it's
by
always been
as we
developing
were
for like
having fun
8
figuring
years.
out how to depict the
I
Super
know,
Mario
right?
characters and world. Now, I'd like to hear from Chris-san, my good friend and great partner for the movie. Let's bring him
Oh,
in.
Chris Pratt.
Chris-san.
Okay.
No,
No.
I am
Oh,
speaking
okay.
on behalf of our directors, Mike.
Wow, you guys look pretty good despite the heart attacks you must have had after the leaks.
When I tell you that
Basically, he's the head of both Illumination and DreamWorks.
Yeah, Dad just told me that he's now in a board of director investments or investors or something with Nintendo.
And they're bringing the very best.
Apparently, Miyamoto and him became besties over the course of this production.
Next week we complete animation.
They said Aaron
they have to be
Horvath
around
and
each
Michael
other for 8 years.
Janelle,
and
correct?
compositing. Composer Brian Tyler heads to the scoring stage in just
Brian
11
Tyler.
days.
I mean, I would have
He's
preferred
working
Jackman,
hand in
but
hand with
sure.
Koji Kondo to
Still, you
integrate
know, working with
classic
Koji
themes from the game
Kondo,
into
that's
the film.
a
Brian
sign.
Tyler, right?
Okay.
Miyamoto-san,
All right.
it's been
That's
over
good.
7 years since we first started talking about making this movie together.
Yeah.
And it is thrilling.
If we're not counting those
to show the
leaks
very
anyway.
first
To
look
be
at
fair,
footage
Joe, again,
with
the movie
Mario
release
fans
next
at
year, so
Nintendo
that makes
Direct
it 8 at that
and at
point.
New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
Miyamoto-san.
Again,
shall we
you
go
just
ahead and
know that
introduce
they
some
have
of our
to
cast?
dodge around mentioning.
Okay, Chris,
Yeah, we had that massive
now,
leak.
I'll introduce two of the stars from this movie. Both of them love
Okay.
Nintendo games and made this into a really fun movie.
I'm guessing they're saving
There
the
he is.
I'm guessing more the midway point.
Man, I spent
Christopher
hours of my
Pratt.
life stomping Koopas in the original Mario Brothers arcade game.
And yeah, this is being directed by the Teen Titans Go creators.
Maybe years of my life. It's an honor, truly, to be able to speak to the man who created those memories for me, and it's an honor to work alongside. It's been a lifelong dream of mine to become Mario. That dream, like all dreams, faces one critical challenge. As in the film, I must face off against an utterly ruthless scene stealer. Every great hero needs a diabolical enemy, and I promise you I could not have been paired with the more perfect king of the Koopas, Bowser, than my friend, the great and hilarious, supremely talented Mr. Jack Black.
I was gonna say, yeah, well, Chris Pratt's
Jack
on
Black.
the show.
Oh my God, Tenacious D.
Let you have all the fun.
But
Hey, I like
First
Tenacious
to make
D.
this moment all about me.
Jack, you're not a shaggy
You've
dog
been
who
dreaming
trimmed
about
that
playing
beard.
Mario.
hey,
Preparing.
let him have it with
Look at
pride
all
to
this
you.
muscle I packed
I
up.
mean, it just
This
feels
glowing mane doesn't just
not,
appear overnight.
properly
You have any
ordered.
idea how long it took me to learn how to breathe fire? I had to go learn it from Gene Simmons of Kiss. And all this hard work's been worth it, though. I am so proud to have been able to collaborate with you and Miyamoto-san, as well as the entire Nintendo and Illumination team on this cinematic experience, one that will make its mark on Mario fandom forever. Much love. Peace out.
Thank you, Chris-san.
Alright,
we
let's
see
see
the movie
this.
now.
Thank you all for waiting.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking their
Let's press the
time
start
with this.
Oh, I think they are actually going to show it to us.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yes, we're seeing it.
Let's press the start button.
Well, everything's gone to shit.
Bowser Mountain Island.
Oh, everything changed when the Koopa Kingdom attacked.
Well, it's kind of like the beginning of Mario Galaxy.
Kinda.
Or Paper
Oh,
Mario.
okay,
Yeah,
so in
if you
this
want.
case, the Bowser Kingdom is its own.
Bowser Castle can just move like that, I guess.
Oh, okay, so, okay. The Koopas look good, actually.
Yeah.
See how Bowser looks.
Oh no. A new age of furries is about to begin.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Looking forward to movie Bowsetta.
Yeah,
Oh
Bowser
my
looks great.
god.
Yeah, Bowser looks great.
This-
I'll give them that.
Wow.
Oh, the penguins from Super Mario 64.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They're trying, come on.
I mean, they can't do much else, can they?
They
I
can't
mean,
even play the relatives in Mario 64 series. What
I mean, they're penguins. Hey, they took that
Wait,
one.
this voice for Bowser is good.
Well, Jack Black is a great actor.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was discussing in this
Kung Fu Panda
speculation.
fan.
Jesus Christ.
And they all died.
Someone's Amazon.
Alright,
wait, no.
let's hear Chris Pratt as Mario.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's just doing his normal voice.
And it looks like the leaked render.
Yeah.
Wait, did we really think it wasn't gonna look like the render?
Yeah, he's just doing the same voice he does with Emmett and Barley. Like,
Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly.
Yep, that's the Chris
Thanks,
Pratt
Keegan
voice.
Michael Keane.
Okay,
to be
okay,
fair, that voice is still better than the voice in the games, to be fair.
okay.
Can we ever get a Toad with a normal voice?
Yeah, we did. It's called Mario Kart 64.
Huh.
The Super Mario Brothers movie. Yeah, this
Okay.
is the only one, we swear.
Okay, you know,
course
by
we
the way,
get you with young dads.
anyone else
Okay,
notice
this-
that the
And
title
we're
font
excited
for
to
that
share
title
even
looked a lot
more
like the
footage in the
1993
coming
title
months.
font?
I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to it too.
But yeah, okay, so it seems
you
like,
think will happen
okay,
during Mario's
Jack Black's
adventure in the
Bowser
Mushroom
is
Kingdom?
good. Unfortunately,
Production
Chris
of the
Pratt's
movie is going
Mario
well.
is literally just
Currently,
the
like
Chris
with
Pratt
any Nintendo
voice.
game, we're working on the finishing
That doesn't
touches.
work.
Let me,
I hope you're looking forward to the next trailer.
I mean, it's not like he's a bad
It'll be a
actor.
great
It's not like he's a bad
experience
voice
watching the
actor
Super
or
Mario
No,
anything.
it's not his
theaters.
fault though. He's miscast. That's the
You'll
problem.
get to see
He's
the
horribly
Mushroom Kingdom
miscast.
on the big screen.
Again,
Yeah.
it's
Look
Illumination
closely,
doing the
you'll spot things in
Illumination
all sorts
thing.
of places.
Hire certain actors
This
for the
film can
money
be
instead
enjoyed
of
by
going
people
for the
of
best
all
fits.
ages. So I hope you'll get to a movie theater and cheer for Mario. That's all
This
for
is
today.
one of, well, okay,
We'll
I'll
see you
mention
next
this
spring
after.
in movie theaters.
Oh, well,
Thank
this
you.
is just that?
Yep,
Yeah.
Not even
I
time.
guess-
Oh.
I guess
Oh,
we're
that
done.
was it? Okay.
yep, that was
Yeah, they
it.
said it was just gonna be a teaser.
Well,
See,
okay,
it's-
no, I don't mind that, but I was kind of hoping they would have, after, like you said, after the trailer, they would have had like a mini segment where they talked a bit about each character, what their role is, but they kind of glossed over like that.
I thought
I
it was
hope
going to
we'll-
be about 20 to 30 minutes. That was...
I hope we'll see more, a bit more at the Game Awards. It's
Yeah.
a good timing for another trailer, and a bit more talk. And Joe Keighley will probably not miss the chance to bite at his cake.
I'll admit, I'm
Um,
kind of with Didge. I wasn't expecting really much, which is why I wasn't expecting this thing to really take that long.
That's my major concern, however, that this trailer is kind of misleading a bit, in a sense of having the beginning being this kind of fantasy storytelling of Bowser conquering Mario, having to stop gathering the stars and everything. You see this kind of imposing, this army battle and everything, and Mario having to go on a quest. But my guess is that the most of the movie would instead be, sort of like a comedy or a tone difference most of the time. And I'm getting the idea of we're not seeing what the movie really looks like.
I will say this, I'm mixed on it. The Bowser stuff with Jack Black was actually surprisingly good, and hey, Kevin Michael Richardson sounds like he works his comic.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll give Keegan Michael Key credit. He gave it his best, came up with a, I'd say, good enough take for the Toad voice. So, that...
Hell, like I said, he actually sounds better than the actual Toad voice in most of the games.
I will say this, though. It feels like a trailer of two halves. All the stuff with Bowser looks great. The stuff with Mario, though...
Yeah.
And again, that's kind of concerning since, it is a Mario movie. So
Also-
that's likely what we're gonna be with more. Do not get me wrong. I don't inherently hate Chris Pratt's voice, and he does have charisma. But no, I'm sorry. Like, I can only watch movies for Chris Pratt specifically just so much. He's not like Arnold Schwarzenegger where, okay, yeah, you're hiring Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know exactly what you're doing him for. Chris Pratt, this, again, maybe he'll sound like Mario more in the trailer, but, more in the actual movie for whatever reason, but no, he's just going with typical Chris Pratt voice.
Yeah.
Also, the Mario's design. I like the costume, but what's wrong with your face? It's hilarious because I was saying that to Deji. From the teaser we got from behind, I was gonna guess originally that the complete opposite, where his face would have been instead too, thin, not large enough like it's easy in the game. But instead we get the opposite. It's too stretched. It's like it's very oval shaped, and it's kind of fucking me up.
Someone said he looks like Fix-It Felix Jr. I'm like, oh no.
Disagreeing on that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't mind the costume, the overall. Again, one thing that they mentioned in the speculation video that I was fearing was going to happen is that the characters would have like potentially a different costume, like more different color overalls, for Mario and Luigi. But no, they're actually sticking to the basics, and I'm fine with that.
Also, it looks like we've got another typical bout of protagonist gets dragged from real world into mystical world, just like with the live action movie.
They are referencing the live action movie.
You know what? To be fair, I will say this: the live action movie did have some decent ideas, just terrible execution. So
and terrible production.
And even the original concept of the movie, I distinctly remember, was supposed to be animated with a fantasy story setting. So maybe they salvaged some of those ideas.
But here's the thing: that's not really a concept the movie did. That was also the Super Show and the instruction manual for the game as well.
Also, looking.
Again, not a fan of a Super Show, Edge.
Neither am I.
Also,
neither am I.
Me neither, honestly. Like, look, I'll just put it like this. The Super Show, I get why some people like it. I just don't really find it even that fun to make fun of.
I don't mind the voice acting. The voice acting is fine, but God, all the puns, the pasta jokes, and all these fucking, reference words. It's like I'm watching Ready Player One series.
Let me put it like this.
Okay, relax.
I feel
it's not even the point of this video anyway. So.
Right. Back to the main point, though. As for the little bit we saw with Luigi, it seems like, they're going for the take of Luigi as a full-blown paranoia nut. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Again, I get it. Tiny snippet. But to be fair, you hyped up this direct, so I can only really dig into so much as what was given here. Let me put it like this. If the movie goes from the trajectories that this trailer set, I can easily see this being the bout where people are gonna love the Bowser bits, It really does feel like with Jim Carrey as Eggman, Jack Black is going to put 110% into this while giving his own rather unique take as Bowser, and it's gonna be the show stealer. I am just not really feeling the stuff with Mario and Luigi, and given how the franchise is called Super Mario Brothers, that is a bit worrying. I mean, okay, I don't think Chris Pratt is incapable of doing a different voice. I'm pretty sure he could do a different voice if he tried or was directed to. But, I'm not feeling it. And it's not even just the voice. I wasn't feeling the humor with Mario or Luigi either.
Well, I have to admit, from all the movies that I watched from Illumination, only specific moments I genuinely managed to laugh at a joke that they did. It's very hit and miss. But to be fair, I forgot actually. We don't know who the directors are. Do we know who is properly the writer? Or
so according to this Lincoln Dean page, it's the creator of Dick Figures, if you know that online show.
Never heard of it.
I don't know what that is.
That said, going off of that name, sounds juvenile.
Well, it was a web series, so.
Oh, good.
His name is Ed Scudder.
No, it doesn't ring a bell. But whatever.
What
do you think, Dweebs?
Wait, let me check it. He's the head of the Unikitty show.
Wait, hold on.
And he also worked on the Cuphead show.
You're talking about Matthew Fogel, right?
No, Ed Scudder.
Because what I'm seeing here is a source that Matthew Fogel is attached as the screenwriter. Granted, that's screenwriter, so maybe not direct writer.
There can be multiple writers anyway.
Ed is listed as head of story.
What I couldn't catch actually in the direct, which I know was spoken, so you guys can help me out on this one. Who actually is the composer?
I said Brian Tyler and Koji Kondo currently.
Fair enough.
What's Brian Tyler done?
He did the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, for example.
No, that
wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Guardians of the Galaxy. No, he did Iron Man 3.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Never mind. Dewis is right.
But anyway, as for my thoughts, okay, I'll list the positives first. The movie looks fantastic.
Yeah.
In terms of environments and character design. Yes, even Mario looks pretty decent, I think. Although the best looking one is Bowser. And as for the voice cast, well, so far the best one I've heard so far is Jack Black as Bowser. He generally does tend to sound like himself a lot in a lot of his roles. But whether it's himself or whether they altered it in post, he sounds pretty good as Bowser, with a deeper voice.
Although I could see his voice not being super consistent, like in the scene where he's going super over the top and asking who's gonna stop him, like he's kind of sort of cracking. Not necessarily a problem, but it's the same thing as hiring someone like Nolan North for role, for example, General Zod in the first Injustice, which sounds fine, but the moment he starts screaming, it sounds like every single character with Nolan North voice by default.
And I can see why. I can see why they changed Toad's voice in this, because his voice in the games is fine for like little voice clips you hear while he speaks full sentences in text, but can you imagine a 90-minute movie with that voice? That would sound like that's going to be a freaking nightmare.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, you don't like just hearing this voice?
No.
For 90 minutes, I don't.
That's even being General's dad. No, again, I don't know. Don't remember at the very least the voice sample that you mentioned about Mario Kart 64. But the other major example is, once again, the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. And no, totally not sounded fine even in that.
Oh, God, look.
That
Like I said, Keegan-Michael Key is doing a valiant effort to make Toad bearable.
Yep.
Now
that's the question, though, Dwibs. What's the worst Toad voice? The current mainline one or the Super one? Hey, I'm the Fantastic Fungus.
Yeah, the one from the Super Show.
Yeah.
But speaking of voices, the negatives. Okay, I won't say much on Charlie Day as Luigi, because the most we heard from him is
yeah.
That's not really enough to judge on. That would be fair to him. Chris Pratt. Now, I like Chris Pratt as an actor a lot. Yeah. Hell, I think he's given some good voice acting performances, like in Onward and both
Lego movie duology.
And both Lego movies that he was in. Okay, and I can understand that Illumination and Nintendo would probably be worried that if they just had him do an Italian accent, that might come off as either really offensive and or really distracting.
I don't. Here's the thing: no one has ever said Mario's accent has ever been offensive at all.
I can tell you
I don't know.
I can tell you these were more amused, even if even in the more egregious cases like the RPGs, where Mario and Luigi literally say gibberish.
Let me put it like this, Dweebs. It's kind of like with Speedy Gonzales, where people assumed that the Mexicans were going to be offended, but they actually like Speedy Gonzales. Like, yeah, it's one of those cases where people are kind of assuming for the actual people in mind.
However, accent or not, from the lines I've heard so far, it just sounds like Chris Pratt,
which is what we feared.
Which is kind of a problem considering that it's the main character. Put it this way, when the guy playing the main villain sounds more vocally diverse than the hero.
We're literally having the same problem with Batman and Robin. Literally.
Oh my god.
In what way?
The main character, instead is voiced by, it doesn't feel like a main character, but the actor playing the main character, very, straightforward and not fitting, while the villain instead is more enjoyable, but because he's going way too over the top, so you're expecting that to do that.
Basically, dude, for Batman and Robin, that was just George Clooney playing George Clooney.
Yeah, I like George Clooney, but
again, George Clooney as Batman playing George Clooney.
Again, horribly miscast.
But yeah, it's just Chris Pratt. There's nothing really that special about it this time. I will hold off and on like the other characters. We haven't heard Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach.
No.
We haven't heard Seth Rogen as...
We haven't seen many of the other characters, Sebastian Maniscalco or
Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Yeah, nor Cranky for that matter.
But we saw Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek.
Yeah,
and as depressing as it sounds, we also get to play Spot the Martinet throughout the film. Yeah. I mean, seriously, if you didn't think you could carry a whole movie, why not just get someone who's actually whatever?
That's the thing. We've heard Charles Martinet do some full sentences as Mario here and there, and honestly, going off of that, I'm really okay. I have yet to be convinced that Charles Martinet would not have been a better pick for Mario in this movie than Chris Pratt.
Charles Martinet is a trained actor. It's not like he's just a guy who only does Mario and nothing else. He's a trained actor.
I saw Dragon Ball Superhero.
I mean, it's not like he's Ed Boon.
And yeah, Dej brings up a good point. He was recently in a major role of the Dragon Ball superhero movie.
All right.
Well,
all right. Is that all?
I guess Sony and Universal are a bit weird like that. But anyway, that's it for me. The trailer overall is a mixed bag. Some good, some bad. I will still see the film in cinemas when it comes out in April. But I'll be going into this with a lot of with trepidation.
Mm-hmm.
That was okay. I was honestly expecting some sort of train wreck, especially with how the internet was hyping this up as the end of the world.
Keep in mind what I said, Dej. I get the suspicion this is essentially, a dangling bait more than anything.
Jack Black's Bowser is good.
Yep.
I didn't get enough here for Charlie Day's Luigi because I didn't rewatch it.
No, like we've said, we only hear huffing and grunts and small grunts. It's nothing that it can be qualified as, decently hearable.
The only complaint I have with Chris Pratt's voice is he was hyping it as like, oh, this is nothing you've ever heard before. Dude, it's just your regular voice.
I have to wonder if he was trolling because...
Well, Joe, but consider again that initial bit of a segment, he was like, oh, I was stomping Koopas since I was a child or something like that. That feels so cringy. You can tell that, it was trying to just butter up the more younger audience or anything.
So Hollywood fluff, gotcha.
Yeah. I think Jack Black did a better job in presenting the character, so
Yeah.
he's more lazy than anything.
Honestly, yeah, that's the thing. Everyone else in the cast seems, well, okay, aside from Charlie Day, have not heard enough to suggest that he's really going to change his voice for it either, but everyone else who we actually got to hear coherent sentences from sounded like they were at least, changing their voices to do a tick on the character here and there, where... And then, again, Chris Pratt, who may I remind you, is the leading man here. Well, it's just Chris Pratt.
Mhm.
And it feels jarring, especially next to, again, Jack Black doing much better. Anything else, Ted?
Yep. I hope it's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
It looks cute. And yeah, I had no expectations for the movie itself, so I like what we saw for the most part. Like, I'd have to hear a bit more of the voices because couldn't really hear them properly with with this call full of so many people. We heard Bowser speak the most though, and so I did hear him quite a bit. Like, he sounds great. I expected a little more from the direct, not really a super long thing, like I said, about 20 minutes or so. And I don't know, it is just a little disappointing because, as was pointed out at the start, it has been 8 years. You'd think they'd have a little more to show, even if it was just, cast interviews or whatever. Like, even that would have been fine. Like, you wouldn't have had to do much more than that, but no. It was just an introduction, the trailer, and that's it. Like, you'd think after 8 years they'd have a little more to show. The movie's out in less than a year, so I'm gonna see it. So it's out a couple of days before my birthday, so that'll be fun. Yep, that's all I really have to say. This was okay.
Pedro, that leaves you if you have anything to add.
Yeah, since I'm okay. Like I said, they nailed the look of the modern Mario games. I will give them that. Like the characters look like Mario's face aside, but I'll get to Mario. Yeah, Bowser looks great. The Koopas look great. The penguins look great. The environments look great. Again, it looks exactly like how I think a Mario movie should look like. Take the art direction that Super Mario Odyssey looks like and just translate that into a movie, an animated film. There you go. That's what you should do for a movie like this. And I'm glad that that's what they're going for. Who the hell did they hire to design Mario's face, though?
Yeah.
Because, okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that his face looks horrible. Oh my god, kill it with fire or something. But yeah, you can. Anyone who's a huge fan of Mario, like I am, can immediately tell that the face looks off. First of all, why does his mustache look brown? And yes, I get it. I get that it's weird that Mario's mustache looks black, even though the rest of his facial hair is brown. Yeah, the thing is, again, since it's not a complete disaster like the Sonic movie's original design before Tyson came in and fixed it, there's not going to be enough outrage to warrant the same kind of change for this movie. So I don't have any hopes of this ending up being better in the final product. The face looks off. Mario's mustache is supposed to be black, not brown. I get that it makes it more consistent with the rest of the design, but his mustache has always been black. It's always been.
It's off because compare it to all the other models we see in this movie. Luigi, Bowser, Toad, Kamek, they all pretty much look on model.
I just realized something.
What?
I'm pulling the Mario equivalent of the green eyes thing. Anyway,
thought you were gonna say the blue arms, but yeah, no, green eyes is probably better fitting.
The blue arms thing. That's more. I don't think the blue. I don't remember the blue arms and boom thing being as much of a thing as the green eyes.
The green eyes is a classic.
True. Yeah.
The green eyes is a classic. But yeah. That being said, see, here's the thing. I could get over his mustache being brown if the face looked right. Again, you have right there the most recent character model for Odyssey already looks like a Pixar model. Just base your design off that. Just copy paste that. It's right there. And yet, for some reason, they just made the face look like that. It doesn't look horrible, but it looks off. And yeah, like earlier said, Chris Pratt sounds like Chris Pratt. It doesn't sound anything like Mario should sound like. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he has to sound exactly like Charles Martin. Okay, let me put it this way. If you're not going to have Charles Martinet voice Mario in this movie, could you at the very least get someone like Captain Lou Albano, someone who can actually give him a cool voice that actually sounds... Again, like I said, you're not going to Charles Martinet because, okay, can't you get some kind of a New York... Remember, the idea is that he's a... Remember, the original backstory for Mario is that he's a plumber from Brooklyn. So can't you get a New Yorkian to play him?
I'm gonna give it out of a limb, a personal blessing and anything. Get Danny DeVito. I will be fine even with him.
Oh, sure.
Everyone and their mother was thinking that Danny DeVito totally would have worked for that.
Oh, sure. I would love for that. Okay, is Danny DeVito a New Yorkian?
I don't know, but he can pull a decent accent.
I believe he is a New Yorkan, and even still, bonus points because he would have great chemistry with Charlie Day, who, they're both from
Always Sunny.
Always Sunny.
Because
one thing, DeVito's born in New Jersey.
Well, there you go. Okay. No, it's because remember, a lot of us older Mario fans like me actually grew up with Captain Lou Albano before Mario 64 came along. So believe it or not, there actually is a very minor and not at all vocal section of the Mario fan base who kind of wish they had somehow brought in Lou Albano to voice in the game, or something like that, or at the very least try to do something akin to the Brooklyn voice that Captain Lou Albano does, because again, that always felt like it. Some people felt like it. Again, I love Charles Martinet. To me, he is Mario, but at the same time, I can understand the other side of the argument. Because I also grew up with Captain Lou Albano. So.
Just to clarify, while DeVito was born in New Jersey, he does have a home in Brooklyn. So,
Yeah. Okay. That being said, yeah, he just sounds like he just sounds like Chris Pratt, which again, that's not a problem. Like, I love Chris Pratt. He's a great actor. He's a great voice actor. He has a lot of charisma. If you want to see him doing great voice work for great animated films, watch the Lego movies or Pixar's Onward. He's great in those. Because he's actually well cast in characters that actually fit him. Particularly Onward, since for Onward they're clearly going for his Parks and Recreation roots.
I feel like Chris Pratt is becoming the Arnold Schwarzenegger of this day in terms of being used for the popularity. Mind you, this is minus the fact that at least the media was more aware that Arnold was awkward in this stuff, but his charisma would boost it, which is kind of further ironic because Chris Pratt is currently Arnold Schwarzenegger's son-in-law, last I checked.
Here's the thing about that. Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger actually is a good fit for Mr. Freeze.
Oh yeah, he was.
He's incredibly over the top compared to comic book Mr. Freeze, yes, but he's still... but for the take on that they had for Freeze, Arnold fit like a glove. So it's like, so I will argue that most of the characters Arnie played in the 90s, they were fitting of his character. Not so much here. Chris Pratt doesn't really belong here. He feels like he's literally a sore thumb. He feels out of place. This voice feels out of place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. Again, couldn't you get some kind of New Yorker actor to play this role? Again, DeVito. Someone like I don't know, like what's like an actor from Brooklyn that I can think of. I can.
Oh, he has retired from acting, but otherwise Joe Pesci could have worked.
Yeah, Joe Pesci. Yeah, that would be great. Mario screaming in his classic Joe Pesci voice, in swearing like in Goodfellas. That would be awesome. But that's not the case here. That looks off. Aside from that, yeah, I have to say the movie looks better than expected. It looks great. I hope the writing is good. I'm keeping myself cautiously optimistic because considering the people involved in the making of the movie, we'll see where this goes.
Mm-hmm.
Please fix that Mario face, please.
All right, I guess we'll see what happens next, regardless of what happens. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
See ya.